Hi, this is Ryan with CHOQ, and today we're here with our Chief Scientific Officer, Dr. Matt Dorsey, to talk about proprietary blends and why it's so important to buy products with full disclosure labels. If you like these videos, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can get the latest information on herbs and natural living from our channel. Stick around for a coupon code from CHOQ.com. Okay, Dr. Matt, let's talk about proprietary blends. What exactly is a proprietary blend?
So proprietary blend, long story short, is it's a way of protecting your proprietary information as a supplements company, right? So if a company wants to, say, ensure that no one can copy the exact ratios, the exact amounts of each ingredient, then they can just sort of only disclose the total. So let's say that you have a product that has turmeric, B6, and quercetin in it, right? You just put turmeric, quercetin, B6 over here, and then you put the total 1,000 milligrams over here.
Oh.
So you don't know the exact dose of each one.
But you know the recipe total, not the individual total. Well, that can be confusing for a consumer.
Right. And it gives you no way of actually knowing whether you're getting active doses at all. The only thing that you really know is that the total of those it totals to that amount over here, right? Those three total to 1,000. But it's not like they're each going to be 1/3. I mean, they might be.
Right.
Or that last one could be 1 milligram and it's still legal to do that.
Oh no, but it's not really enough to help with anything.
Right, exactly. And guess where the most expensive ingredients tend to land? At the end of that list. Because that list is in descending order. That's the other thing to remember, right? So the one at the top, will have the most, and then the one at the bottom, the least, right? So mathematically speaking, there's a huge range that it could be of each one.
Right.
And so that enables, on the positive note, there's nothing wrong with protecting your proprietary information, your IP. That's fine. It's understandable, right? But what that enables companies to do is to microdose people and also do what we call label fluffing, right? Or also called fairy dusting by some people in the industry too, where you just sprinkle a tiny little bit of a sub-threshold dose of something to make the label look really, really good.
And usually something that's a very fun or trendy, catchy ingredient.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, something that's really hot, something that's also probably fairly expensive that you can't afford to put a lot of it in there, right? And then here's another problem too. Like as a practitioner, I've had people say, "Oh, well, I'm getting tons of this particular nutrient or whatever it is, or I'm getting lots of this herb already. I don't need to take any more." I'm like, you actually have no idea how much you're getting.
Right.
It could be the tiniest amount in there, where you could literally get more by just picking up a single leaf of that herb and smelling it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have no way of knowing. You may or may not be getting that.
Okay. Yeah, that could make it really tough to figure out what product is working for you or how to vet a product or trust a product.
Of course, yeah. And so, is every company who uses proprietary blends bad and deceiving you? No, of course not. There are some great companies out there, obviously I won't name, but I'm a fan of some companies who do use them. They're not always bad. The reason...
hard to sell.
Right. And I understand the reasoning. You want to protect you don't want people to copy your stuff, right? You want to protect your special blend, right? Right now there's a movement among a few people in the industry, a few companies to take that extra step toward total transparency. And that's what we decided to do with CHOQ, to have full disclosure labels. Right?
Sure, that's great.
Yeah,
very helpful.
Absolutely. So in other words, full disclosure label means we have the exact amount of milligrams of every single nutrient in there.
Wow.
So if we're gonna underdose you, you'll be able to actually say, well, there's no studies that actually use 10 milligrams of CoQ10. What is that supposed to do, right? You will know exactly what's happening in the label.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that really speaks to why CHOQ doesn't use these proprietary blends. They really want to be as transparent as possible.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's all about transparency. There's a fair amount of deception in the industry. I think we were chatting earlier about that,
Sure. Yeah, I know. We always kind of joke that it's like the Wild West.
Yeah.
I mean, when a consumer's vetting a product, I'm sure you and I are both having to really take our time and explain to them the tips for each individual ingredient and what we're looking for, what we're not looking for.
Right.
So CHOQ using these full disclosure labels, that's so helpful. Can you add on to that at all with the full disclosure? What's helpful when somebody's on the hunt for a very specific ingredient or product?
Yeah, for sure. Well, so full disclosure, another aspect to that too is not necessarily just how many milligrams per, but then also even down to the excipients. An excipient is a fancy term in the supplements industry for anything that's not an active ingredient,
Okay.
So So like, for example, like let's say you have a certain herbal extract where they use a little bit of a certain kind of excipient, like maybe some silicon dioxide, something like that. There are companies out there who also won't list that on the label either. You know? So, and a lot of these are micro amounts of certain excipients, so it's not like a lot, it's just a tiny bit that they put in there for flow or something like that. But we even make sure to list all of those and to make sure that that label has every single thing that's actually in there.
Right.
100% possible, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I think that speaks a lot about a company and their willingness to try to help a patient rather than dupe them.
Absolutely. I've been in this industry for long enough to have seen a lot of tomfoolery, you know, and for a longest time I was like, well, one day, you know, like selling these supplements for many, many years, one day I'm going to make these supplements, and when I do, here's all the things I'm not going to do.
Yeah, right.
And it's a tough sell though, because people can easily go and they can sort of copy your products if they want, right? But part of it is having a brand that's actually trustworthy and just knowing like, you know, yes, people can more easily copy your product if they want, but at the same time, it's worth it, I think, for the street cred if you want to use more, you know, but it's worth it just to say like, we actually believe in transparency enough to do this, and we're not just like talking about it, we're actually walking our talk in a sense, you know what I mean?
No, I love that. That's great. And so if people want to find more information, is there some info on the website that they could track down?
Absolutely. So I did actually do a blog on supplement quality. It's called like 3 Ways to Tell If Your Supplement is Junk. We do talk about proprietary blends in there. So if you go to CHOQ.com and look at the blog, just click on blog, and you can type in supplement quality into the search, something like that. But it's definitely a favorite topic of mine. So I'm sure there'll be lots more blogs on it in the future.
Yeah, we'll just title it "What Not to Do," what supplements not to use. That's
exactly,
great.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
For sure, absolutely, thanks.
Use these coupon codes over at CHOQ.com, and thanks for liking and subscribing.